some closing thoughts, Camille, from you. This podcast and Laughing Vikings really is all about turning delusions into reality. We're all dreamers. We're all in the arts industry. Can you give some advice? And maybe this is twofold advice for someone who is just starting out, like whether they're young or old, but wanting to get into acting / singing / performing. And or maybe there's people who are at some level in it, whether they're fully pro or somewhere in the middle, and they maybe feel stuck or they're looking to get to the next level. Can you give some advice to those categories of people that are watching and listening right now?
Yeah, I would say to anyone who feels stuck, the only way to unstick yourself is to create motion, because an object that is not in motion stays not in motion, but an object in motion stays in motion until it is stopped. So I would recommend, if you're feeling stuck, just switch things up. Like, for example, I was feeling just a little bit not stuck, but you get this antsy feeling. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna update my demo reel. I'm going to sign up for another acting class. I'm going to just do something different. If you're feeling stuck, then the only reason you're stuck is because you're keeping yourself stuck. So just switch things up. Even if it's not even acting related, just, take up a new hobby or do something different. Do something different at the gym. Whatever it is, surround yourself with different people. The only person who can get you unstuck, though, is you. But it's as simple as just like moving in a different direction. Just shake things up. Keep things interesting for yourself, because if you're just sitting at home and waiting for your agent to send you an audition, like you gotta put in a bit more than that. So unstick yourself. And to anybody who is getting into it, my biggest piece of advice is just don't listen. Like, I just have this wonderful filter now where if anybody says anything to me along the lines of, and I actually found that because of this wall that I've put up, I don't hear it anymore. But I used, literally, people don't even bother to say it to me. But I used to hear so much stuff about, you're going to be a starving artist, and, artists never make it big. And, the percentage of people who actually make it. And honestly, I just don't listen to anybody who says that, because it's so useless. And I also love to look at people, inspiration is huge for me. So, for example, I watched the Taylor Swift documentary on Netflix, and I'm like, imagine if Taylor Swift just was like, no, I'm not that good. I shouldn't do it. What are the chances of me succeeding? And she's multi-billionaire, one of the biggest country pop artists of all time. But imagine if someone like Taylor Swift was just what are the chances? So, think like the way a celebrity would. Think like your idols. Think of taking a chance and going for it, and just honestly stop subscribing to anything negative and listening to people who are trying to stop you from living your dream, because they're just projecting their own fears onto you. So just put up a wall. And that would be my biggest advice.
Stop subscribing to negativity, but start subscribing to Laughing Vikings on all podcast network, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Yeah, there you go. And also, don't forget, if you're watching this and you are in the industry, tag an actor, comedian friend, creator friends, and tag us at Laughing Vikings. And we'll throw you in the bucket to win some prizes, some free audition sessions, some free comedy albums, free comedy tickets, maybe some acting workshops. One thing that you mentioned there about learning new skills and shaking it up, that applies to one of our acting coaches, Tom Todoroff. He often in class will say actors are professional. Really, the job is to be a professional human. So the more advanced you are in any things in your own life, whether it's new skills or new experiences, new languages, traveling, any new art, or you were recently, didn't you learn crocheting or needlework?
Yeah,
recently?
And I'm getting my driver's license.
There you go.
So,
yeah, now you can be in a scene where you're driving. Yeah, and that's a whole other story. I don't know if we have time for that, but you somehow managed to avoided your driver's license your whole life, and now you're going for it. So kudos to you. We got a last minute joiner here. We got Yo Lars, what up, from Nick Hendrick.
Nick.
Here. Hey, Nicky boy, another actor as well here, friend of Laughing Vikings. Oh, Nick says to Camille, I'm your biggest fan. Or maybe he was talking to Brandon. Nick. Maybe he was talking to Brandon.
Or you.
Or maybe he was talking to me.
Me.
It's you, Camille.
Yes, yes.
I
Thanks,
know.
Nick. Thank you, Nikki. All right. Anything else, or should we just steer this? Should Captain Lars steer this ship into the
Well,
port?
Camille did give us our inspirational quote for the day and for the week. So I
Ooh.
think we'll wrap this up by playing one of Camille's original songs, "Sober."
All right.
So this
Woo!
is Camille's song, "Sober."
I
Thank you.
lost my keys. I got kicked out. I dropped my ID. How do I get home now? Who was that guy? How many shots did he buy? Why did I think this was a good idea? Next day in bed with an aching head, wondering what I did, being a stupid kid. Check my phone, 12 missed calls, and I'm scared to look at Snapchat now. So I'd rather be sober, so I'm not in over my head. Oh, so I'd rather be sober, so I don't regret what I did. Sorry, not sorry, pass the bottle past me. No judgment here, just know I'd rather be in my right mind, in a good space. And at the end of the day, I just can't hold my alcohol. So I'd rather be sober, so I'm not in over my head. Oh, so I'd rather be sober, so I don't regret what I did. Too many times I've made mistakes, wish I could take it back, but there's no retakes. I hurt myself from the outside in, trying too hard to have fun and fit in. I wish I knew then what I know now, that kissing strangers doesn't make you love. So I'd rather be sober, so I'm not in over my head. Oh, so I'd rather be sober, so I don't regret what I said. I'm in a new place now, need to numb out. I learned to be happy without blacking out. It helps that I don't need to escape a reality that I've worked hard to create. Sober, so over the mess I make, the hangover. Oh, sober, so over the bad ideas. Why did he come over? So I'd rather be sober, so I'm not in over my head. Oh, so I'd rather be sober, so I don't regret what I said. So I'd rather be sober, so I'm not in over my head. And so I'd rather be sober, so I don't regret what I did.